Under partly sunny skies, the temperature this past Monday at noon in downtown Washington, D.C. was 40 as Barack Obama was sworn in for his second term. Actually, fairly typical weather for Inauguration Day. The average high on Inauguration Day in our nation's capital was 43, the average noon temperature 37. Usually the inauguration is on the 20th of January, but when that's a Sunday like this year, it's moved to the 21st. Historically, there's a 1 in 6 chance of some form of precipitation during the ceremony, just a 1 in 20 chance of snow, but a 1 in 6 chance of at least 1 inch on the ground from a previous storm. Not the case this year. Prior to 1937, presidential inaugurations were actually held in early March, but even then the weather was occasionally an issue. In 1841, William Henry Harrison gave the longest inaugural speech on record, almost 2 hours, on a cool, windy day without a hat or coat. He died a month later from a cold that turned into pneumonia, though historians disagree on whether his illness was directly linked to the inauguration. In 1889, his grandson, Benjamin Harrison, our 23rd president, took the oath in a downpour under an umbrella on a chilly 40-degree day. The snowiest inauguration was in 1909 for William Taft, when the weather forced the swearing-in ceremony indoors. 9.8 inches of snow brought much of Washington to a standstill, and 6,000 workers used 500 wagons to clear the parade route. Taft joked to a reporter, "I always knew it would be a cold day when I got to be president." The first January inauguration was in 1937 for FDR's second term, and it turned out to be the rainiest January 20th on record in Washington with nearly 2 inches. Rain came down hard between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m., and the temperature at noon was just 33. Undeterred, Roosevelt watched the inaugural parade for an hour and a half from an exposed viewing stand. Snow and cold was the issue in 1961 for John F. Kennedy's inauguration. 8 inches fell the day before, leaving thousands of cars marooned or abandoned around the city. Skies cleared for the swearing-in, but the temperature was just 22 at noon with a wind chill well below zero. As for temperature extremes, the warmest January inauguration was in 1981, when Ronald Reagan enjoyed the mid-50s as he was sworn in for his first term. Ironically, the coldest was for Reagan's second inauguration 4 years later. The temperature at noon was just 7, with wind chills in the minus teens. The weather was so harsh that the parade was canceled and the swearing-in was moved indoors. Washington, D.C. may be only a short drive from much of Pennsylvania, but weather-wise it's often very different. As an example, nearly all of the Commonwealth has had at least one snow this winter that required shoveling, but only 0.2 of an inch of snow has fallen so far in downtown Washington. Fred is back with the extended forecast next.